what is an electrolyte and what is a non-electrolyte. So all the sodium chloride molecules will dissociate to form Na plus and Cl minus ion. And base is a substance which can donate an hydroxyl ion or an OH minus ion. Next we are going to learn about the basicity of an acid and acidity of a base. Hello my dear students, welcome back to session 5 on the chapter Equilibrium. Last class we studied about Le-Chatelier's principle. It's a very important concept in which we learnt about how a stress can be applied on any system at equilibrium and how the system will try to nullify it, isn't it? So today we shall learn about ionic equilibrium. So under ionic equilibrium, you need to understand two different terminologies, that is what is an electrolyte and what is a non-electrolyte. If a substance can conduct electricity both in molten state and in solution, we call them as electrolytes. Now for example, NaCl. If we take molten NaCl, it will conduct electricity. And if I take NaCl, that is the salt what is there, and dissolve in water, they will decompose or they will ionize. Decompose is not the correct word. Ionize is the correct word which I can use. So NaCl will undergo ionization or dissociation to give Na plus ions and Cl minus ion. Completely it will ionize or it will dissociate to form one cation and one anion. And thus it can conduct electricity because there are free ions there. Okay. So such substance which can conduct electricity are called as electrolytes. Non-electrolytes are substances which do not conduct electricity in solid state or in solution state. Whichever state they are, they will not conduct electricity. Okay. Such substance we call them as non-electrolyte. Example, benzene, alcohol, etc. Or I can even tell glucose, C6H12O6. All these are non-electrolytes. Okay. Next we are going to study about the types of electrolytes. There are two types of electrolytes, weak electrolytes and strong electrolytes. For example, I take salt, sodium chloride salt, and dissolve in water. So all the sodium chloride molecules will dissociate to form Na plus and Cl minus ion. So the electrolyte which undergoes complete ionization in the solution, we call it as a strong electrolyte. All of the molecules will dissociate or will ionize to give ions in the solution. We don't have the molecular form which is left behind. For example, even I can take H2SO4. I'll get 2H plus ion and SO4 2 minus ions. So everything will dissociate completely. Then it is a strong electrolyte. Weak electrolyte means, for example, ammonium hydroxide. I take ammonium hydroxide and I put it in water to form solution. Okay, I'll get ammonium ion and OH minus ion. But all the ammonium hydroxide is not dissociating to give ammonium and OH minus ion. There is some amount of ammonium hydroxide molecules which is left undissociated or unionized. Okay. Similarly, when I can take acetic acid, CH3COOH, all the molecules will not dissociate. It will form CH3COO minus and H plus ions. But some of the, ions, they will react with one another to give back the molecule, and the molecular form as well as the ions are reaching an equilibrium state, and this state we call it as ionic equilibrium. When an equilibrium is established between the undissociated molecules and the ionized or dissociated ions, that state we call it as ionic equilibrium. Why? Because we have ions and the undissociated molecules, which in both are in equilibrium state. And such electrolytes, what do we call it as? We call it as weak electrolytes. So I hope you have understood the difference between strong and weak electrolytes. Next, we are studying about theories of acids and bases. In acids and bases, they are of different types, or different people have tried to explain what's an acid and what's a base in different manner. The first one is Arrhenius theory of acids and bases. Arrhenius told that acid is a substance which gives away H plus ion, okay, or which can donate a proton or an hydrogen ion, H plus ion, okay. And bases are substance which can donate an hydroxyl ion or an OH minus ion, okay. So you can see if HA is an Arrhenius acid, it should be able to give a H plus ion, okay, or a proton or an hydrogen ion, and a negative ion, A minus ion, will be formed. So you're getting a cation and an anion, and the cation which is formed is nothing but a proton, H plus ion. So an acid is a substance which can give away what? H plus ion. And what is a base? For example, MOH is an Arrhenius base. That means it should dissociate to form M plus ions and OH minus ions. So anything which can give away OH minus ion and hydroxyl ion, then it is called as an Arrhenius base. So acid can give away H plus ion, base can give away OH minus ion. So this is the first theory of acid and bases. Next, we are going to learn about the basicity of an acid and acidity of a base. See, it is the other way around. We do not call it as acidity of an acid and basicity of a base. Okay, we always tell it as basicity of an acid and acidity of a base. Now, what is the meaning of this? Basicity of an acid is, it is equal to the number of replaceable hydrogen atom present in one molecule of an acid. So how many hydrogen atoms are replaceable? Okay, that is the basicity of an acid. For example, HCl and HNO3 is monobasic. That means HCl can give away one H plus ion and forms Cl minus ion. So how many H plus ion it gave? 1. So it is a monobasic acid. Okay. HNO3 also can give away 1. H2SO4. Now if I take out H2SO4, it can give away 2 H plus ion and form SO4 2 minus ions. Of course it is stepwise. Okay. But how many H plus ion it can give away? It can give 2. Isn't it? It is a dibasic acid. Okay. Now H3PO4, if you see, it is a tribasic acid because it can give away 3 H plus ions. Okay. So this is basicity of an acid. Okay. Now what is acidity of a base? It is equal to the number of replaceable hydroxyl groups. Now for example, NaOH can give away 1 OH minus ion and Na plus ion. So how many it gave away? 1 OH minus ion. So it is a monoacidic base. What is it? It's a monoacidic base. Whereas calcium hydroxide and barium hydroxide, for example, barium hydroxide, it will form Ba plus 2 and 2 OH minus. So because it can give away 2 OH minus, it's a diacidic base. Okay. So number of replaceable hydrogen atom in an acid is called basicity of an acid. The number of replaceable OH minus ion in a base is called as acidity of a base. Okay. So I hope you have understood about the basicity and acidity part. Next, we are going to the next theory, that is Lowry-Bronsted theory of acids and bases or Bronsted-Lowry theory of acids and bases. Either of way, because these are the two scientists who have actually given this theory. Okay. So according to this theory, acid is a substance which has a tendency to donate a proton. So anything which can donate a proton, which can give away a H plus ion, it's called as an acid. Then what is a base? Arrhenius also told the same thing, isn't it? Acid is a substance which can give away H plus ion. So according to Bronsted-Lowry also, acid is a substance which can give away H plus ion or which can donate H plus ion. But base is a substance, according to them, base is a substance which has a tendency to accept a proton. So if it has an accepting tendency for proton, then we call them as a base. So here Bronsted and Lowry has given the theory based on only proton, no OH minus. If something can give away H plus ion, it's an acid. If something can take up an H plus ion, it's a base. Okay. So here you can see acid is a substance which can give H plus ion and base is a substance which can accept a H plus ion. So from acid, this H plus ion is going into a base. So what will happen? An acid, after it loses the H plus ion, is called as a conjugate base. Okay. And base after taking up the H plus ion is called as the conjugate acid. Now more about conjugate acid base pair I shall explain. Here, what do you mean by conjugated acid base pairs? These are pairs of acids and bases which differ by a proton. If it differs by one H plus ion, okay, one is an acid, another one is a base, and both are differing by one H plus ion, we call them as conjugate acid base pair. Now, for example, the same thing what I had given in the last slide. You see, Ha is an acid because it is giving a H plus ion. So it is a Bronsted-Lowry acid. Okay. Once it gives a H plus ion, what does it form? It forms A minus. And what is formed after removal of H plus ion? It will be the conjugate base. Okay. Now, this H plus ion which acid gave was taken up by another reactant which is called as a base. And that is Bronsted-Lowry base B. Okay. So this is a base and it will accept the H plus ion and form something, isn't it? It forms Ba plus. And this is the conjugate acid. So always remember, acid loses a proton to form conjugate base. Okay. And a base accepts a proton to form a conjugate acid. Okay. So you have an acid, you want to write the conjugate base. From the acid, remove one H plus ion, you will get the conjugate base. You have a base and you want to write the conjugate acid. For the base, add a H plus ion and write, you will get the conjugate acid. Now, for example, we will see here NH3. I am adding a proton for NH3. Okay, NH3 is a base. From a base, I want to get the conjugate acid. So, I will add a H plus ion. For this one, if I add a proton, I will get the conjugate acid. Okay. And that proton was given by the water, which is the reactant here, which is an acid. So, from here, one H plus ion I took up here, NH3 became NH4 plus. That's the conjugate acid. Now, this is an acid. Water is an acid. So, it had to give H plus ion. So, if I remove an H plus ion, what it forms? OH minus, that's the conjugate base. So, I hope you have understood how to write the conjugate acid base pair. Always remember, an acid gives rise to a conjugate base, a base gives rise to a conjugate acid. Okay. So, you should be able to write the conjugate acid base pair. There are some problems based on this. I shall solve in the end of the session. Okay. Next, I am giving some more examples how to write acid and conjugate base. You can see here. Now, I have an acid. So, all of them should give away one H plus ion. So, if I remove an H plus ion from here, it will form Cl minus, that's the conjugate base. Now, from here again one H plus ion, if I remove, it will form Br minus, that's the conjugate base. And remember, all of these are acids. From here again one H plus ion I will remove. So, I have NO3 minus, that's a conjugate base. Again, HC2H3O2 is there. remove an H plus ion, whatever is remaining, it is the conjugate base. Similarly, I have a base to write the conjugate acid. What I'm doing? I'm adding a H plus ion. So for NH3, one H plus ion, if I add, it will become NH4 plus. For OH minus, I'm adding a H plus ion, it forms H2O or HOH. Anyhow, I can write it. For H2O, I'm adding one more H plus ion, it will form H3O plus ion. And CO3 2 minus, I'm adding one H plus ion, it will form HCO3 minus ion. So, this is how I write base to a conjugate acid. So, anymore, if I ask problems, you should be in a state to write it, isn't it? Next, we'll be studying about amphoteric substance. So, what is the meaning of amphoteric substance? Amphoteric substances are those which can behave like acid as well as a base. Now arises the confusion. Till now you told ma'am, acid means it can give H plus ion, base means it can accept H plus ion. But there are substances which, depending on the situation, it can act as an acid or as a base. Such substances, we call them as amphoteric substances. You can see it can act both as an acid as well as a base. We have two examples I have taken. One is bicarbonate ion and one is amphoteric water. Here I have given an example of water in which one water molecule is acting as an acid and one water molecule is acting as a base. Okay. So, acid from H2O, I am going to remove an H plus ion. So, I will get OH minus. So, this acid will give rise to the base, conjugate base. So, H2O has lost an H plus ion, minus H plus ion, OH minus. This is the acid and conjugate base. The other water molecule has to take up a H plus ion because it's a base. Remember, acid and acid will not react to give base and base. Acid and base will react to give conjugate acid and conjugate base. Okay. So, this is a base, that means it should take up an H plus ion. Correct. So, when it takes up an H plus ion, what it will form? H3O plus ion. So, water, when it acts as a base, it will take up a H plus ion to form H3O plus ion, which is the conjugate acid. Okay. So, water can either take up a H plus ion, also it can give a H plus ion. That's why we call water as amphoteric. Similarly, bicarbonate ion, that is HCO3 minus ion is bicarbonate. What is bicarbonate? HCO3 minus ion. Okay. Now, when bicarbonate ion is acting as a donor, that means it can give H plus ion and it is an acid. Okay. So, if I remove H plus ion, what will I get? I will get CO3 2 minus ion, which is a base. So, HCO3 minus ion, if it acts as an acid, I will get CO3 2 minus ion, which is the conjugate base. Okay. Now, OH minus is the acceptor, that means it is the base to form H2O, which is the acid. Okay. Similarly, see, HCO3 minus ion not only can donate a H plus ion, it can also accept a H plus ion when water is the donor. So, if it is acting as an acceptor, it is acting as a base to form H2CO3, which is an acid. So, if HCO3 minus acts as a base, okay, it will take up a H plus ion to form H2CO3, which is the conjugate acid. Okay. So, I hope you have understood about the amphoteric substances as well. Okay. So, we have some of the problems to solve, that is a very important 1 mark question which can be asked from this chapter, and for the competitive exams also you can expect a question from this part. Okay. So, what it is? What will be the conjugate bases for the following Bronsted acids? So, they are telling us that HF is an acid, H2SO4 is an acid. HCO3 minus is an acid. All of them are acting as Bronsted acids. That means I have to write the conjugate base of all of this. So when I am writing the conjugate base, I'll have to remove a H plus ion. So conjugate base for all of this, and this is acid. I'll remove an H plus ion from this. I'll get F minus. So that's the conjugate base. H2SO4. One H plus ion if I remove, what will I get? I'll get HSO4 minus, which is the conjugate base. Correct? Now from here if I remove one more H plus ion, I'll get CO3 2 minus ion. So these are conjugate acid, conjugate base, acid, conjugate base, acid, conjugate base of these. So this is how you have to write. If it asks for 1 mark, only one will be asked. You have to write the acid base pair. Okay. We'll see the last question. The species H2O, HCO3 minus, HSO4 minus and NH3 can act both as Bronsted acid and base. For each case, write the corresponding acid and conjugate base. So I'll write the conjugate base on this end. This is the conjugate base I'm writing, and here I'm writing the conjugate acid. Now, if it acts as a base, I'll get the conjugate acid. So what is a base? Now, all of this I'll consider it to be a base. Okay. So base means it will take up an H plus ion. So when it takes up an H plus ion, I'll get H3O plus ion. Correct? It takes up a H plus ion. What will I get? I'll get H2CO3. Here if it takes up an H plus ion, I'll get H2SO4. And here if it takes up an H plus ion, I'll get NH4 plus. So these are the conjugate acid of these bases if it is reacting like a Bronsted base. Now if it is behaving like Bronsted acid, it will give away H plus ion. Correct? So if it gives away H plus ion, I'll get OH minus, which is the conjugate base. Here if it gives away H plus ion, I'll get CO3 2 minus, which is the conjugate base. Here if it gives one more H plus ion, it will form SO4 2 minus ion. And here if it gives away one more H plus ion, I'll get NH2 minus ion. So these are the conjugate bases. So by now, I hope you have understood how to write the conjugate acid-base pairs, isn't it? So next class, we'll be learning about the Lewis theory of acids and bases, and also we'll solve some of the numericals. Okay? So thank you my dear children. Stay tuned, stay focused, stay curious.